50 geography facts you need to know. Welcome back to our video. Today is your chance to learn a bunch of facts that will surely impress your teacher as well as your friends. I tried picking the most unique and entertaining facts, so enjoy the video. You know Mount Everest, right? Well, Mount Everest is located in Himalayas, and the height of the Himalayas is increasing each year by 1.5 centimeters, which is equal to 0.6 inches. That means that in 1 million years, the Himalayas would grow 10 kilometers in height, and Mount Everest would be 18,000 meters high. And that's just the first fact. You know where New York is on the map. What about London? Yeah, I mean, you can see it right now. New York drifts away almost 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch every year from London. And this is because of the tectonic plates, and it's insane to me what could happen in the next few years. You can't fly over the Taj Mahal, not just because of security reasons, but because the risks to the white marble that is caused by the pollution of the aircraft. So that is the real reason why. In Ireland, palm trees grow at 53 degrees north, while in Canada, at 55 degrees north, there are polar bears. Wow! In between France and Spain, there is an island called Pheasant Island that changes countries every 6 months. For the first 6 months, it remains under Spanish rule, while the remaining 6 months are under French rule. The longest fence in the world is in Australia. It is 5,600 kilometers long, and that's the distance from London to Kabul. Originally meant to be a rabbit-proof fence, it has later converted to a dog barrier to protect sheep from dingoes, which are wolves and dogs at the same time. If you took a boat out of Reykjavik and sailed directly south, the first landmass you'd hit would be Antarctica. Yeah, it doesn't hit any other countries or landmass. In fact, the biggest area that isn't owned by any country is Antarctica. Another place would be Bir Tawil, a territory in between Egypt and Sudan that is claimed by none, but is pretty disputable. Thought volcanoes are found only on land? You'd be surprised that they exist on ocean floor and ice caps too. Here are some images of them. Yeah, Russia has more surface area than the planet Pluto. Pluto's surface area is 16.7 million square kilometers, while Russia's surface area is 17.1 million square kilometers. Did you know Norway is north, south, east, and west of Finland? Yeah, here's proof if you don't believe me. Talking about Finland, Finland is the country that consumes the most coffee. They consume 12 kilograms per person in a year. Yeah, that's a lot. And milk. Yeah, their dads need some milk. They consume 431 kilograms per person in a year. Meanwhile, the country that consumes the most alcohol is Latvia, with an average of 13.19 liters per person. Moldova and Germany complete the podium, so I'm proud to be a Moldovan, you know. Point Nemo is the lowliest point away from any other land. It is 2,688 kilometers away from any other land. If you somehow end up there, yeah, lol. Imagine, the closest people are the ones at the International Space Station. In India, there is a lake in which there is a floating island inside a lake. The island changes its position regularly, and it will truly remain a mystery. You know Tuvalu, right? Tuvalu is a really small country. Well, in fact, Tuvalu is so small that athletes usually play their desired sport on the airport runway because there are almost no flights there. One of them said, "We have quite a long runway, and every afternoon it's overcrowded with people doing all sorts of sports." Okay, this is gonna be crazy. Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Iran, Kuwait, and Afghanistan don't have any age consent, but they must be married before doing it, so yeah, that kinda makes sense. If you don't like corruption, please go to Denmark. It is the least corrupted country in the world. And if you like corruption, go to Somalia, because Somalia is the most corrupted country. If I were to ask you, what's the largest French-speaking country in the world? You'd say France, right? Well, believe it or not, it's actually the Democratic Republic of Congo. We can predict it has around 97 million speakers, while France sits at only 65 million. So yeah, that's a cool fact. In India, there is an island called North Sentinel Island, which is home to the most isolated tribe in the world. Please don't go there. It's strictly prohibited. An interesting fact about this tribe is that it actually survived the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, which is insane. Cuba is the only Caribbean country with an active railway. Yeah, it's the only country in the Caribbean. Did you know coffee grows in United States of America? Yeah, but coffee beans only grow in one US state, and that is Hawaii, so it's kind of far away from the actual mainland. Did you know Turkmenistan is stricter than North Korea? That's something I also learned. It gets only 5,000 visitors in a year, and those who actually get there are under constant surveillance. Ashgabat, its capital, is the city with the most marbles. It has a lot of gold, but citizens aren't allowed to walk in the center of the capital, so it's just there for the show. Turkmenistan had some bizarre presidents that made a lot of weird laws. For instance, the second president, which is this dude, banned black cars for no apparent reasons, and car owners had to repaint their cars. Bro was so obsessed with horses that he put his horse on Turkmenistan's state emblem. LOL. The current president also introduced a law where women are not allowed to hold hands in the public. Why? There are more Azerbaijani people in Iran than in Azerbaijan itself. Yeah, 15 million in Iran versus just 10 million its population. A similar approach is taken by Armenia. Bros have 8 million people as diaspora versus 3 million people as their population. And the most insane one, Ireland. Ireland has 70 million people which migrated to a different country versus 5 million people that are still in the country. That's a very big difference. Mongolia, Bolivia, Central African Republic, Paraguay, Rwanda, Serbia, and Uganda have a navy despite being landlocked. In Russia, teachers used to be paid in vodka. Wait, let me explain. In September 1998, as the authorities had no money to meet their wages bill, they paid 8,000 teachers with 15 bottles of vodka per month. Yeah, by the way, speaking of vodka, vodka was actually not made in Russia, but many sources claim that it was made in Poland. The USA has no official language. Even though the most common language is obviously English, since USA is divided into states, only some states have English as their official language, so it can't just be the full country. Vatican City, despite being the smallest country in the world, has a military and its own football team. The size of the military is 110 men, and that is 1 in 7 people of the Vatican City. Back to US states, Texas is the second largest state in the USA after Alaska. Texas is larger than countries like Ukraine, Madagascar, or Central African Republic. An insane fact about Texas is that the world's entire population could fit inside it if we'd have the same density as New York, which is 26,000 people per square mile. But let's just say things might get a little bit crowded. Africa is closer to Canada than it is to the US. Yeah, look, here's proof. California's northernmost point is more north than Canada's southernmost point. This fact just came out of nowhere. The westernmost point of China is closer to Germany than it is to its own easternmost point. How? And this isn't just for China. The same goes for Canada. The easternmost point of Canada is closer to Vienna, yes, in Austria, than it is to Vancouver. In the Netherlands, 60%, that is 9 million people, live below the sea level. In fact, the highest point of the Netherlands is just 322 meters. Minnesota is the northernmost state of USA if we exclude Alaska. France is only 20 kilometers away from Canada. This is because France owns the islands of Saint-Pierre and Miquelon, which is pretty much near Canada. The windiest city in the world is Wellington, the capital of New Zealand. The average wind speed is 16 miles per hour. Wellington is a big brain though, and it makes use of its winds, harvesting them for renewable energy. But Commonwealth Bay is the windiest place in the world. Located in Antarctica, the average annual wind speed is 50 miles per hour, sometimes going all the way to 150 miles per hour. So you get an idea how it is like to be in Antarctica. The least windy country is the Democratic Republic of Congo. The average speed of the whole country is 6.44 kilometers per hour, or equal to 4 miles per hour. Wow, okay, there's pretty much no wind there. New York City is further south than Rome. USA, Liberia, and Myanmar are the only countries that don't use the metric system. If you cross the border between Afghanistan and China, the time would change by 3.5 hours. This is because China only has one time zone on its entire territory, that being GMT plus 8, while Afghanistan has the GMT plus 4030. The starriest skies can be seen over Namibia. Just look at the view at night. Imagine seeing this with your own eyes. The Dead Sea is currently 429 meters below the sea level, and it's sinking about 1 meter per year. That's insanely fast. You could fit the US, China, India, and most of Europe all together inside Africa. The Amazon River has no bridges across it. This is because it has very few roads for bridges to even connect. According to NASA, the Japanese earthquake from 2011 that caused the horrific tsunami was big enough to slightly shift the Earth's axis, resulting in a very slightly shorter day. It was only 1/1,000,000th of a second change though, but it seems insane to think that one earthquake could do all of that. And finally, the last fact, Hawaii has the best rainbows in the world, and it's pretty much a tradition for them at this point. They have rainbows on their vehicle license plates, local businesses, and even the names of Hawaiian sports team have rainbow in their name. You can clearly see why, just look at these images. Thanks for watching this video. Remember, I have other socials as well. You can also check them out. They're all linked in the description. Right now, I'm having a country battle royale series on my short. So if you're interested in those, make sure to check it out because it's pretty fun. I also have a Discord server where I do occasional events for money prizes. So make sure to join it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.